Using the very simplest of tools and materials, weaving allows you to create an incredible variety of patterns and textures. In the first card loom video, we made this small square weaving using a loom that we built on this small piece of cardboard. We're going to try something a little more complicated today, using 3 different colors of yarn. So we're going to need a few different yarns. I've chosen pink, green, and white. We'll also need that same strong thread that we can make our warp with, a slightly larger piece of cardboard, scissors, a strip of thin cardboard, maybe actually a few of these, and a butter knife or something smooth and flat that you can slide between the warp. Okay, all this will make sense once we get started. Okay, so let's get started. Just as in the first card loom video, I've made small cuts across the top and bottom edge. These small slits I'll use to hold my warp thread in place as I wrap it around the board. And so that it won't slip out, I'll tie it to the other end. When we were working on this one, we were only really using our fingers and the loom. I'm going to introduce a couple of more very simple tools, things that you probably have access to right now. The first is just a butter knife. You could use anything that's flat that you can fit through here, but this will allow us to work just a little bit faster. Weaving it through just like I did with the yarn before. I'm going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, just like before. And now this is not going to stay part of the weaving. Turning the knife, I've created this space between the warp threads. That space is called the shed. And through that space, I can more easily pass the yarn, which makes up the weft. One more thing that I want to introduce is a shuttle. So I have prepared this shuttle already, and I'll show you how to do this. It's just a piece of cardboard that I've wrapped a bunch of green yarn around. And with this, I leave a tail hanging off. I can more easily pass this through. See how much faster that was than when I had to sort of work it through with my fingers. And now I've got my first pass already done. So I press that down, I take my knife out, and work this down. And then for every pass, I'm going to need to go back through with the knife, but the knife works faster than the fingers. So before I had gone over, under, over, under. Now I need to go under, over, under, over, under, over. And again, twist that up. And I need to tuck my tail in. Okay, and then I pass my shuttle back through. Okay, and again, I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want my edges to suck in. And the knife comes out. Okay, and do the opposite. And make sure I've got enough to go, okay, and back through. Okay, I think you've probably seen the pattern here. Now, I want to show you how I made that shuttle. Maybe very obvious, but I'd like to show you quickly. Using just a piece of cardboard, could be a piece that you cut off the same chunk as the card loom, or anything that you have around that is flat that you can wrap yarn around. I'm going to create a little shuttle of this nice white yarn. I need to put just a little cut into the cardboard so that I have a place that my yarn can slide into, and so you can see it's held tight there. And then I'm simply going to wrap it around, putting as much on as I think I need. You don't want to put too much on. If you get it to be really fat here, then it's going to have a hard time fitting through the shed of the loom. So I'm just going to do one layer here. Okay, that's a good start. I can always add more. Okay, so I've got this nice shuttle of white yarn. I've got the green yarn. I also prepared this very bright pink shuttle. So now I can weave with all three of these at the same time. They'll be sort of working themselves up in layers. And I'm going to continue working just in a plain weave, so just under, over, under, over. So I've gone through about 8 passes with the green, and now I'm going to leave this attached because I want to keep using the green later, but I'm going to come in with my white now. So I've got my knife in there, my shed is ready, and so I can just simply pass this through. Okay, so same as before, and I'll leave a little tail off there, and okay, and I'm going to just the same as before, but now working with different colors. So there's the tails tucked in. Now, so I've done my one pass with white, and now I'm going to continue with green. Okay, so I'll leave my white over here. You can see it's still attached, and pass my green through. Okay. Okay, so they're going to start to intermingle. Getting ready to finish the weaving portion of this. So I've got just 1 or 2 more passes with the pink. Pass that through. Okay. And I'm going to cut my tail here. There, and this is a little tricky. Pull that portion up so that I can sneak this tail in. It won't be the very last row. Does that make sense? So I'd woven it through, and then I pulled this up a little ways so that I can sneak this in underneath that. Okay, and pull out my knife, tighten this up a little bit, and pat it down. Okay, so we finished the weaving portion. Now to get it off the loom, just like we did on the smaller one, I'm going to turn it over and just cut through all these. Okay, so because of the slits in the end, it's still held tight. So we can do this with some degree of control. I'm just going to pull out 2 at a time and tie an overhand knot. And so it won't come out. I'll I'll tie a second one. Using these 3 colors of yarn and also the thread that we used to make our warp, and of course the cardboard that was the loom, we created this 3-color weaving. And in this technique, and also in the video prior, we were only using plain weave, which is to say we were going under and over and under and over, and then back again, over, under. But there are lots of other patterns that you could try. You could go over, under, or under, over. Any pattern that you come up with, really the possibilities are just about limitless. So see what you can do. And also you could try different materials. It doesn't have to be only yarn or thread. Anything that's flexible that could fit between the warp is fair game. So for example, in this one, I have included some fruit net and also some rope within the weft, just to see what sorts of textures I could create using something different. So now it's your turn. See what you can do. Thanks for watching.